Tomorrow morning, when you go to the petrol pump, look at the price on the board once. Then go to the next pump, then to the next one. What will you see? The same price everywhere. Whether it is HP, Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Reliance, maybe a difference of a few pennies. Ever thought why? You have been told that since 2010, the prices of petrol have been deregulated. That is, it is a free market on paper. The company is free to decide the price at will. But if this really happened, there would be a difference in prices. Someone would sell cheap to attract customers. Someone would sell expensive in the name of quality. Reliance would have a different rate. Indian Oil different. But this is not the case. Everyone is the same. Why? Because what you think of as competition, it is not competition. It is a cartel. It is a system that a man made 150 years ago. And that system is still working the same way as it used to on the first day. Do you remember 2016? When Jio came, free calls, free data, unlimited. The whole country went crazy. You thought, wow, Mr. Ambani is so kind. But what happened in the next 2 years? Aircel died. Vodafone and Idea had to merge just to stay alive. Docomo disappeared. Unionor disappeared. In 3 years, the entire telecom industry came together into 3 companies. And one of them, Jio, was the most powerful. That free data was not for you. It was the expense of killing the competition. And you? You were not a customer in that game. You were a weapon. This is not a new move. This move is 150 years old. And it was first perfected by one man. His name was John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller, the richest man in the world. The richest man in history. His wealth was more than $400 billion today. When he was at his peak, he was much richer than any rich man in the world at that time. It is said that at that time, 2% of the entire American economy was with Rockefeller. With one person. Think. But Rockefeller's real legacy is not money. His real legacy is the system he built. It is the method he invented. And that method is still used by every big company. Amazon uses it. Google uses it. Reliance uses it. Adani uses it. Banks use it. Pharma companies use it. You live inside that system every day, every moment, and you don't even know. Today, I will show you that system. How did Rockefeller make it? How did he kill his competitors? How did he become richer even after his company broke down? And how did you get stuck in the same system that he designed even after 114 years? Because understanding the system is not an academic exercise. It is survival. Let's start. John Davidson Rockefeller was born on the 8th of July, 1839, in a small village in Richford, New York. His father was a con man. Yes, a con man. He used to sell fake cancer medicines. He used to fool people by going to villages. His mother was a strict Baptist Christian. Religious, ethical, strict. Consider this combination. His father's cunningness, mercilessness, and the art of manipulating people. And his mother's moral conviction, this belief that whatever I am doing is God's will. Rockefeller destroyed his competitors without any mercy, but he genuinely believed that all this is for the good. He felt that God has chosen him to organize the industry. He felt that he was improving the world. This was not a show. He had faith in his heart, and this was what made him dangerous. Because a man who considers himself a messenger of God can crush anyone. In 1859, oil was found in the Titusville area of Pennsylvania. Oil rush began. Thousands of people rushed to dig wells. Some became rich overnight. Some were ruined. Boom and bust. Today, the flood of oil. Tomorrow, drought. Chaos. Rockefeller was 20 years old. He worked as a bookkeeper in Cleveland. He also saw the oil rush, but he did not see what everyone else was seeing. Everyone else was seeing that to extract oil, you have to invest in drilling. But Rockefeller saw something else. He saw that extracting oil is very risky. It depends on luck. Today, if you are lucky, you get oil. Tomorrow, if the land is dry, everything is ruined. This is gambling. But refining, cleaning crude oil, and making kerosene, which people used to use to light lamps in their homes, that is the real business. Why? Because whoever extracts oil, whether they are drowning or floating, they have to get their oil cleaned. So the refinery business will always run. In 1863, Rockefeller invested $4,000 and opened his first refinery in Cleveland. where crude oil was cleaned and made into kerosene. In 2 years, it became Cleveland's largest refinery. But Cleveland had a total of 30 refineries. Everyone was fighting each other. The competition was fierce. Prices were falling. Profit was very low. Most of the refineries were just somehow stable. This is where Rockefeller's real cunning came to light. He thought there was no point in fighting by lowering prices. He decided to end the competition. And he did this with a method that is still the foundation of every big company. Vertical integration. In simple words, it means that whatever things you need to run your business, make them yourself or buy them. Don't depend on anyone else. Take an example. Suppose you sell tea. Now you buy milk from the dairy, sugar from the farmer, tea leaves from the wholesaler, and cups from the plastic man. Everyone is making a profit from you. Now imagine if you open your own dairy, set up your own sugar factory, grow your own tea leaves, and make your own cups. Then all the people in between are gone. Their profit is now yours. This is what Rockefeller did. Oil business. The rest of the refineries only did one thing: buy raw oil, clean it, and sell it later. That's it. But what did Rockefeller do? He bought oil-keeping pipas, that is, factories that make barrels. Earlier, he used to buy a pipa for 25 cents. Now, he was making it for 15 cents. He bought oil tank wagons. He built his go-downs, that is, warehouses. He built his network to reach. Rockefeller himself started doing all the work that someone else used to do and earn money in it. Now all the profits in between were his. He got a lot of benefit from this. His cost was the lowest, and he took another move. He made secret deals with railroads, that is, rail companies. These deals were such that the railroad companies would return the money to Rockefeller after. That is, the looting of Rockefeller was for free, and his competitors used to get full rent from them, sometimes even more. This was not just wisdom. This was the way of the hunter. Rockefeller could sell his kerosene so cheaply that the competitors would have a loss on every sale, and they themselves would still benefit. This is what he did. In 1870, Rockefeller founded a company called Standard Oil Company of Ohio, and its refinery was now the largest in Cleveland. But in the whole of America, it still controlled only 4% of the oil business. Out of every 100, only 4 were his. And this was not enough for Rockefeller. So Rockefeller launched the second phase of his strategy: horizontal integration. If vertical integration is controlling the entire supply chain, then horizontal integration is buying or destroying every competitor. In 1872, Rockefeller did what historians call the Cleveland Massacre, Cleveland's Koteleam. In 3 months, Rockefeller met the owner of every refinery in Cleveland. He offered to sell his refinery to him. If he agreed, Rockefeller gave a fair price. Many times he made him a manager and kept him. But if he refused, Rockefeller started a price war. He would lower the price of kerosene so much that it would come below the cost. His competitors, who could not produce at such a low price, would lose money on every sale. They had 2 options: sell Rockefeller or go bankrupt. Most sold. Some tried to fight. All lost. By the end of 1872, Rockefeller took control of 25 out of 26 refineries in Cleveland. In 3 months, it reached 4% to 25%. This was the blueprint. Offer first. If he refuses, destroy it economically. In the next 150 years, every industry, every monopoly has used this method. But Rockefeller was not satisfied with Cleveland. He wanted the whole country. In the 1870s, the Standard Oil Company spread throughout America: New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. The same methods, the same tactics in every city. Secret deals with railroads, making everything yourself at the lowest cost. And those who were not willing to sell their refinery, a war of merciless prices against them. By 1879, Standard Oil had taken 90% of America's refining. That means 90% of every 100 ppm oil used to come from Rockefeller's company. It was not a business. It was a monopoly. Monopoly meaning one right. When one company or one person takes over an entire industry, when the customer has no other option left. When the competition ends, then it is a monopoly. And why is monopoly dangerous? Because when there is no competition, there is only one who decides the price, whatever price he wants, what the customer will do, where he will go. But this is where Rockefeller's real genius came to light. He knew that monopolies have two big problems. First, it is illegal. The government can break the monopoly. Second, people hate the monopolist, and hatred has power. The public hated Rockefeller. He was called Robert Barron, the most hated man in America. Rockefeller needed a solution, and he found it. But what was that solution? And how did that solution define the structure of every big company today? Let's find out. So now Rockefeller had two problems. First, monopoly is illegal. Second, the public hates it. He wanted a solution for both. And in 1882, his lawyers created something that changed the history of corporate America. The name of that solution was the Standard Oil Trust. Now let's see what Rockefeller came up with. At that time, every state in America had its own laws. Ohio's Standard Oil Company legally could not buy any company in New York or California. The law did not allow it. So Rockefeller came up with a new method. He created a trust. What is a trust? In simple words, let's say 10 people gave their shops to a rich man. Now that rich man runs all the shops. The names of the owners are different on the papers, but the real owner is that rich man. Rockefeller did the same. He put the shares of all his companies in a trust. There were 41 people controlling the trust, and all of them were Rockefeller's own people. And the biggest share was Rockefeller's. Were 34 different companies on the papers, but the real owner was one. It was the first big corporate trust in the history of America, and everyone else did the same. The trust was made of sugar, tobacco, steel, and the biggest thing is that this trust gave birth to today's holding company. What does a holding company mean? It is a company that does not make anything by itself. It is owned by other companies. Today, look at its example. It is a company called Alphabet. It does not make anything by itself, but it has Google, YouTube, and many other companies. It is a company called Meta. It does not make anything by itself, but it has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. In India, under Reliance Industries, there is Jio, Reliance Retail, Reliance Petroleum, Jio Cinema, News 18. Under Tata Sons, there is TCS, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Titan, Taj Hotels. Under Adani Group, there are ports, airports, electricity companies, cement, media. All these are the children of Rockefeller's 1882 trust. The same kind of imitation. The structure that was created in 1882 is still running. By 1904, Standard Oil had taken over America's 91% oil refining and 85% sales. Rockefeller was the richest man in the world. His net worth was $900 million. As of today, $400 billion. But after hearing this, you should have a question. If Rockefeller was so powerful, then who was he in India? Who used this playbook in India? The answer is Dhirubhai Ambani, India's Rockefeller. 1958, a 26-year-old boy works at a gas station in Yemen's Aden city. He fills petrol, calculates in the evening, earns 300 rupees per month. His name is Dhirubhai Harachand Ambani Dhirubhai. 1966. The same boy is running a small trading company in Bombay, Reliance Commercial Corporation. What did she do? Order spices and clothes from foreign countries and sell them in India. That's it. 1977. The same man lists Reliance Industries in the stock market. More than 58,000 shareholders. Reliance, India's largest IPO. 2002, when Dhirubhai dies, Reliance is India's largest private company, and his two sons, Mukesh and Anil, combined worth in billions. This looks like a fairy tale, from the gas station attendant to India's richest man. But what was the method? Rockefeller's method. See how. What did Dhirubhai do? The same Rockefeller game started. Vertical integration. Remember? Control every step yourself. Dhirubhai started with clothes. Then he thought, to make clothes, you need thread. For thread, you need petrochemicals, i.e., chemicals made from petroleum. So he set up a petrochemical factory. Then he thought, for petrochemicals, you need a refinery to clean oil. So he set up a refinery. Then he thought, for refinery, you need crude oil, i.e. raw oil. So he started looking for oil and gas. If I say in modern language, he started with textiles, then went to petrochemicals, which is the raw material of textiles. Then he went to petroleum refining, which is the raw material of petrochemicals. Then he went to oil and gas exploration, which is the raw material of refining. See, he went one step behind. Wherever there was someone else's profit before, Reliance took it all in. Today, Reliance's Jamnagar refinery is the largest refinery in the world. They buy raw oil, clean it, make chemicals, make plastics, and sell it directly to you from Reliance retail shops. There is no one in between. All the profits are theirs. Reliance is at every step of the supply chain. This is Rockefeller's way, 100%. And look at the horizontal consolidation. Remember how Rockefeller killed his competitors? Reliance did the same. The fight over Bombay dyeing in clothes is still remembered today. In telecom, Jio collected the entire industry, bought Future Group in retail. Remember the Cleveland massacre? In 1872, Rockefeller acquired 25 out of 26 refineries. In 2016, Jio did the same in telecom, gave free data, free calls. Competitors either joined or died. And one more thing. Dhirubhai had a famous saying, if there's a problem in the system, don't fight the system, change the system. This is called regulatory capture. That is, make the rules in your favor. No need to break the rules, make the rules according to you. Rockefeller did the same. He made the railroad rules for his own benefit. Dhirubhai was India's Rockefeller. The method was the same. The scale was different. But the game, word for word, was the same. And I'm not saying anything wrong. This is just an observation. This is recognition that method that works in business worked 150 years ago and still does. Now, let's go back to America. 1911, on the second problem of Rockefeller, his reputation. Now, the public was hating Rockefeller. The newspapers were opening his polls. A female journalist named Ida Tarbell wrote an entire book on Standard Oil. She exposed every bad move dealing with railroads, lowering prices and killing competitors. Everything. People were furious. The Supreme Court of America ruled that Standard Oil was an illegal monopoly. It had to be broken in 34 different companies. You'd think this was Rockefeller's defeat. His empire was broken. Game over. But here comes the biggest twist. When Standard Oil broke, Rockefeller still had a share in all 34 companies. The company broke, but the owner remained the same. Standard Oil of New Jersey changed its name to Exxon. Standard Oil of New York became Mobil. Standard Oil of California became Chevron. Standard Oil of Indiana became Amoco. Standard Oil of Ohio was later bought by BP. If you pay attention, you'll still see these names on petrol pumps. Now let's talk about money. Before the breakup, a share of Standard Oil was worth $660. After the breakup, Rockefeller now had shares of 34 companies, and their combined value was more than $900 per share. So Rockefeller's wealth did not decrease. On the contrary, it increased. After the breakup, it became richer. How? Because when a big monopoly is broken into 34 pieces, but each piece is still the largest in its area, you didn't break the monopoly. You just broke it into 34 pieces. Each piece became the king. And today, 100 years later, most of those 34 companies are back together. In 1999, Exxon and Mobil became one again. Chevron bought many old Standard Oil companies. BP bought Amoco. The monopoly that was broken in 1911 is now back together in 100 years. Today, Exxon Mobil, Chevron, and BP are the three companies that were Standard Oil. Only the names have changed. The system broke itself to protect itself from the law. Then slowly, without making any noise, it re-established itself. But Standard Oil is not Rockefeller's biggest legacy. The real legacy is the method that he created. That system, that game, methods, structures, playbook. And the most clever chapter of that playbook is philanthropy. In 1913, Rockefeller founded a foundation, Rockefeller Foundation. He donated $250 million. Today, it is more than 50,000 crore rupees. This foundation gave money for medical research, schools and colleges. It gave money for people's health. From the top, it looks like this donation is good. Rockefeller is giving his money back to the society. But look at it in depth. Because of this foundation, Rockefeller did not have to pay taxes. The money that went to the government went to the foundation. And who had control over the foundation? Rockefeller. From the foundation, he decided which universities would get money. That means he decided What would be taught? Who would be researched? The man who destroyed thousands of people has now become a donor. The man who was hated the most in America has now become a social worker. Rockefeller Foundation shaped the medical education of America. It gave money to Johns Hopkins and University of Chicago. It created a system that benefits the companies that sell medicines. This is not a conspiracy. This is a documented history. And the interesting thing is that from the chemical divisions of Standard Oil, later on, pharmaceutical companies were created. So, the foundation created a system that benefited Rockefeller's companies. Today, every billionaire uses this playbook. Bill Gates created Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation worth more than 5 lakh crores. It works for health all over the world. It affects the policies of WHO. It influences the governments of the countries. Mark Zuckerberg created the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Warren Buffett gave most of his money to Gates Foundation. In India, Reliance Foundation, Adani Foundation, Tata Trusts, which is the majority shareholder. This is not just a donation. This is a way to save tax. This is a way to make your name shine. This is a way to influence the government policies. Rockefeller created this murder. Today's billionaires made it shine even more. Rockefeller family still exists. It is still influential. David Rockefeller, grandson of John D., died at the age of 101 in 2017. He was the chairman of Chase Manhattan Bank. He was the founder of Trilateral Commission. He was one of the most powerful men in the world. The wealth of the family, which is estimated to be $11 billion, is spread in hundreds of trusts and foundations. Rockefeller Brothers Fund, Rockefeller Family Fund, David Rockefeller Fund, they still shape policies, fund research, influence politics. It's been 150 years since John D. started Standard Oil, and his family is still exercising power with the same system. But forget about the family. The truth is that Rockefeller's system is still working in every industry, every big company in your daily life. In Amazon, Google, Pharma, banks, Reliance, Adani. And in the next part, I will show you exactly how this system is extracting wealth from you every day. Your every choice is not really a choice. And most importantly, what can you do by understanding this system? Because it is impossible to get out of the system. But understanding the system is your biggest power. Now let's see how Rockefeller's system is working today in every big company in your daily life. Look at Amazon. Amazon started as an online bookstore. Today, it controls the entire process from making the entire supply chain to your home. It has its own go-downs where the goods are kept. It has its own trucks that deliver the goods. It has its own delivery network. It has its own payment system. And most importantly, it has AWS, Amazon Web Services. What is this? These are the computers on which the websites of other companies run. That means Amazon's competitors also use Amazon's computers. Amazon earns more than 750,000 crore per year from this AWS. This is more than Amazon's retail profits. Rockefeller controlled refineries, railroads, and distribution. Amazon controlled retail, delivery, and cloud computing. That is, internet computers. The same way, different world. Amazon also does horizontal consolidation. Do you remember how Rockefeller used to buy competitors? Amazon does the same. It bought Whole Foods, which used to sell groceries. It bought Zappos, which used to sell shoes. It bought Twitch, which shows gaming videos. It bought Ring, which makes doorbell cameras. It bought MGM Studios, which makes films. And it has bought more than 100 companies. And when a competitor cannot buy, it copies its products. The small shopkeepers who sell goods on Amazon, their sales data goes to Amazon. Amazon checks which goods are being sold. Then it makes those goods in the name of Amazon Basics, and in search, it shows its goods at the top. This is today's version of Rockefeller's price war. It is legal. No one is going to stop it. And it is very effective. Legal, barely regulated, and devastatingly effective. Look at Google. It is an alphabet company. It doesn't make anything by itself. But listen to how many companies it has. It has Google. It has YouTube. It has Waymo. It has DeepMind. It has Verily. And it has dozens of small companies. This is the same structure that was of Rockefeller's Trust, a big company that controls all other companies. The benefit of this structure is that if a single company is in trouble, the rest can be saved. It is easy to save taxes. And if the government wants to break it, it is difficult to break it. Now think about it. What is Google's share in internet search? 92%. Out of every 100, 92 people search on Google. This is more than 91% of Standard Oil. But Google is not considered a monopoly. Why? Because it is free. You don't pay. But wait, you don't pay. So what do you give? You give data. You give your information. What do you search for? Where do you go? What do you buy? Who to talk to? All this is with Google. And Google earns money by selling data. So you are paying, but not in money, but in your information. Rockefeller would have been happy to see this. A monopoly so complete that people don't even know that they are paying a price. Look at pharmaceutical companies. They use the same old method of Rockefeller, regulatory, capture. Remember? Make those who make rules on your side. Rockefeller didn't just fight in the market. He made the rules according to him. He made the rules of the railroads for his own benefit. He made such standards of kerosene that his refinery could complete, but small competitors could not. Today, pharmaceutical companies do the same. In America, there is FDA, which approves medicines. These companies give money to FDA in the name of user fees. They put pressure on the government to increase the period of patent and, most importantly, the rules that apply to these companies are written by themselves. That is, they write the regulations from which they are supposedly regulated. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Merck all learned from Rockefeller. Those who make the rules control them. Then the market is yours. Look at banks. JP Morgan Chase is a holding company. Under it, there is Chase Bank, which is a bank of common people. JP Morgan Investment Bank, which does big deals and many small companies. Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo are all such holding companies. In 2008, when there was a crisis due to banks then in America, a law called Dodd-Frank was made to control the banks. But because of the holding company structure, it became almost impossible. The problem was on whom to regulate, on the main company or on the lower companies. Everything is different on paper, but the owner is the same. Rockefeller solved this problem in 1882 when he created the trust. The banks copied the same solution. Now India comes back. 2016 September. Mukesh Ambani came on stage. He was the AGM of Reliance Industries. He announced Jio, free voice calls, lifetime free, data free, 4 gigabytes per day, unlimited. The whole country went crazy. Lines were made for SIM cards. People stood in queues all night. The same thing everywhere on social media. Free data, free calls. Ambani G rocks. You must have taken Jio. You must have thought that finally someone has come who is thinking about the common man. But wait, think. A company makes infrastructure worth billions of rupees, builds towers, spreads fiber, buys spectrum, and then gives everything for free. Nothing is free in business. So who paid the bill for free? The competition. See what happened? 2 years after the launch of Jio. Airtel, bankrupt. Reliance Communications, bankrupt. Tata Docomo, merge in Airtel. Telenor, merge in Airtel. Vodafone and Idea had to merge in each other just to survive. And that too is at a loss of thousands of crores today. In 2016, India had 10 plus telecom operators. By 2020, only 3 were left. Jio, Airtel and dying Vodafone. Bankrupt, Tata Docomo, Airtel merge, Telenor, Airtel merge. Vodafone and Idea had to merge in each other just to survive. And that too is in the loss of thousands of crores today. In 2016, there were 10 plus telecom operators in India. By 2020, only 3 remained. Jio, Airtel, and the dying Vodafone and Idea. And the most powerful of these 3, Jio. Do you remember Cleveland Massacre? Now, this was in 2016 edition, Indian edition. Rockefeller dropped the prices of kerosene in 1872 and killed competitors. Jio killed competitors by freeing data and calls in 2016. Method same, scale different, result same. Market consolidation is in the hands of a dominant player. But Jio's story does not stop here. Jio is not just telecom. Jio is not just telecom. Jio is vertical integration in Reliance style. Jio gives you SIM. JioMart sells you groceries. Jio Cinema shows you movies. Jio Sawan plays music for you. Reliance Retail sells you clothes, electronics, everything. Reliance Petroleum puts petrol in your car. Network 18 gives you news. You wake up in the morning, watch the news on Geo. You go to the office, get petrol filled from Reliance's petrol pump. You order from GeoMart for lunch. You watch IPL on Geo Cinema in the evening. You listen to music on Geo Sawan at night. Your whole day is spent in an ecosystem. And the owner of that ecosystem is a family. This was Rockefeller's dream. A system in which every interaction of the consumer is from the same company. From removing oil to burning in the lamp. And Reliance has fulfilled that dream in India. Now think, how much money goes into this system in your life? How much do you spend on petrol per year? 50,000? 1 lakh? That goes to Reliance, Indian Oil or BP. All Rockefellers use playbooks. How much do you spend on Amazon and Flipkart? 30,000 rupees? 50,000 rupees? Vertical integration and horizontal consolidation. How much do you spend on phone and data? 3,000 rupees? 5,000 rupees? Jio, Airtel or V, consolidated market. How much do you spend on medicines? 10,000 rupees? 20,000 rupees? Pharmaceutical companies, which operate in the shape system of Rockefeller Foundation. How much do you give to banks in EMI interest fees? 50,000 rupees? 1 lakh rupees? Holding company structures which Rockefeller has invented. Calculate the year. 2 to 3 lakh rupees is going from you to these consolidated industries. In 40 years of working life, more than 1 crore. And where is this money concentrating? At the top, in those families which own the system. You think of choice. You don't have choice. If you don't buy petrol, how will you go to work? If you don't use Amazon, where will you get convenience in pricing? If you don't use Jio, you will use Airtel, same consolidated market. If you don't use Google, it has 92% market share. What is the alternative? If you don't take medicines, you will compromise with health. If you don't use banks, you will take salary in cash. Every path takes you back to the system. Every choice is an illusion. You are inside the system, and the system is extracting wealth from you daily. It is extracting your wealth. This is the ultimate achievement of Rockefeller. Such a system through which escape is impossible. It is impossible to escape. So now the question is, what should you do? There are 3 ways. First way, accept it. Accept it. Consider it as a monopoly of big companies. This is the truth of today's world. It cannot be changed. Take advantage of the facilities they provide. Buy from Amazon because it is cheap and fast. Use Google because it is easy. Accept that money will go up and live your life. This is the easiest way, but you have to accept defeat. Second way, fight. Buy from small shops, even if it is expensive. Use alternatives, even if they are not good. Vote for those leaders who promise to break big companies. Make the system less efficient so that there is less control. This is a noble way, but it is exhausting. And to be honest, it doesn't work. The system is very powerful. Third way, understand and make your place. If you cannot get out of the system, then take advantage of it. Buy shares of the companies that dominate the market. Reliance, HDFC Bank, TCS, Infosys, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple. If the system is withdrawing money from everyone and depositing it in these companies, then you also become the owner of these companies. Rockefeller did the same. He was the owner of Standard Oil, while everyone else bought his products. Instead of withdrawing money from the system, he was earning money from the system. You can do the same. Not at his level, but according to yourself. Own the extractors. Don't be extracted. Be the owner of those who extract. Don't be the one who is being extracted. This is not an investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You just have to look at the pattern. You have to understand how money flows. Rockefeller's system has been accumulating money for 150 years and will continue to do so because this system has now entered into the laws. It has entered into the rules of tax. It has entered into the government system. It is good to fight it, but it is tiring. It is impossible to run away from it. Understanding it and making your place in it, this is wisdom. This is cleverness. John D. Rockefeller died at the age of 97 that he saw Standard Oil breaking, saw it joining again, and saw his ways spreading in every industry. He saw his grandsons among the most powerful people in America. He created a system that is still going on after 100 years and will continue to go on after all of us. That system is vertical integration, horizontal consolidation, corporate trusts, regulatory capture, and philanthropic influence. In simple words, controlling every step yourself, eliminating competitors, making a net of companies, controlling those who make rules, and illuminating your image with charity. This started with Standard Oil. It spread to steel, railroads, sugar, tobacco, then to automobiles, electronics, pharmaceuticals, technology. Now it dominates every sector of the economy, and you cannot escape it. You can only understand it. Rockefeller said, "Competition is you." Most people think this is a matter of greed, but Rockefeller meant religious. He believed that competition is useless. Two people do the same thing. Hard work is wasted. Money is wasted. He believed that consolidation, that is, everything in one hand, is right. This makes work faster, cheaper, and the customer gets a lower price. According to him, monopoly is not theft. Monopoly is the destination where every efficient market reaches. In the end, the best wins, and the rest move away. This is natural. This was Rockefeller's idea, and he made a whole system to implement this idea. 150 years later, we are living in the same system. But now you have what most people do not have: awareness, understanding. You know how the system works. You can see where the money comes from and where it is deposited. You understand that the choice you see in front of you is not really a choice. This information is power. Now you will not make the same mistakes that others do. You will not get tired of fighting against the system. You will not be robbed by ignoring the system. You will understand the system and make your place according to it. This is the real power, being able to see the game. And once you see it, you can't ignore it again. John D. Rockefeller made a system that you can't escape from. But from today, you can see it. And seeing changes everything. If this video has shown you something that you have never seen before, if you think that the corporate structures were made by a man 150 years ago, then comment below. Whatever thoughts have come to your mind, do share them in the comments below. And subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Understanding the system is the first step. Taking a position in it is the next. Let's start.